Welcome back, Wagoneers, to another exciting episode of the Wasted Wagons podcast. With us, we have Sean, Todd, Russ, Pat, and myself. I'm Travis. It's been a few weeks, but we're back at it, and usually where we start this is on a gloomy note due to the first thing on a Sunday that we've always usually bring up is a Saints game, and generally we talk about Saints losses, but today we were coming off of our third win of the season against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the division-leading Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Woohoo!
So, does anybody want to get that party started?
Losers. The Bucs.
I mean, I think Tyler Shough looked great. He did throw an interception, which was kind of a head scratcher, and I don't know if it was like some miscommunication between him and his receiver, because I mean it was clearly looked like there was no receiver in sight. But that was really, I think, the only mistake he made. I mean, offensive line didn't hold up particularly great, and he still managed to make plays. Plus, it was pouring rain in the majority of the game, so the quarterbacks were having trouble throwing the ball in general, both him and Baker Mayfield. So the fact that he was able to kind of pull out a win against the division-leading Bucs, I felt like he was very impressive.
I think that was a miscommunication. That it was Olave was supposed to do a go route, and he curled back in, and then Shough, threw it deep. So.
And I think the defense held up surprisingly well, too. Particularly the secondary, I didn't give up too many big plays. Kool-Aid McKinstry played really well. I think one of the big issues they had is pretty much every time Baker Mayfield ran the ball, it seemed like he was getting chunk yardage. But for the most part, I think the defense held up really well. You look confused when I said the Baker Mayfield was getting chunk yardage. Why is that?
Who, me?
Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't. I mean, yeah, he was running the ball pretty well. For somebody that's not really known to have the best wheels, he took off pretty much against the Saints and was gaining a lot of yards per attempt. But my big takeaway is I know we had, going back to the beginning of the year, you have your lovers and your haters of the pick of Tyler Shough. But I think what he showed today, and it's been like a slowly building process. I think he's gotten better each and every week that he's been on the field. And today I think you saw the culmination that he was able to use his arms and his legs to finally get a good win under his belt. And I really do feel like we have our quarterback of the future right now, at least for the next year. And we need to use the draft to start putting pieces around him, whether that be another big play receiver, whether that be another piece on the offensive line, shifting on the other side of the ball. I know we're still pretty weak at corner. Still, we could use another pass rusher. So there's a lot of different holes the Saints have that I feel like they could use the draft picks on outside of the quarterback. And I'm going to say this, we have a friend, particularly Todd, Sean, and I, who is very high on just anybody that scrapes the surface of doing well, and all of a sudden, if the Saints have a top 5 pick, we need to draft him. He made a comment last night that he wanted that it seemed to me that he was hinting the Saints should take Mendoza in the draft.
Oh, Jesus.
And and then my whole thing with that is, yes, he's playing good. He's playing good against a really good defense against the number 1 team in the country at that time. But at the same time, you spent the early second-round pick, borderline first-round pick on a quarterback this year. I don't think you make quarterback top priority when we have so many other needs right now.
Especially not this franchise. We don't draft quarterbacks ever. Like, at that high, it's historic for the Saints to draft a second-round quarterback.
Yeah, look, I'll give credit where it's due. I think he looked pretty good last night. I was a little skeptical at first because, I'll be honest, as a Big Ten fan, the Big Ten doesn't play schedules like the SEC. And, when you see Mendoza beating up on everybody but Ohio State, you're like, okay, well, let's see what happens when he plays Ohio State. And then he looked really good. So maybe that will transition well. He's got some size on him, so he might be a good pro quarterback. As far as him being the Saints quarterback, I'm just not a fan of that right now, especially with the way Shough's been playing the past couple of weeks.
One thing also with Mendoza is he absolutely got rocked on like the first play.
The first play of the game. I mean, I thought he was going to be out.
I mean, that looked like a concussion. I mean, I don't know what everybody else at the table thought, but he looked pretty concussed when he got hit.
Yeah, I real toughness on his part to take that hit and kind of get his bearings together. I'm sure they probably did like a quick evaluation for a concussion, maybe not having to go into the tent to get fully checked out. But he stayed in the game, and I think he was pretty solid in the game yesterday. He didn't have to do a ton, and he didn't really kind of play outside his means. But yeah, he is not a quarterback the Saints should be looking at, being that we're going to have probably a top 4 or 5 pick in the draft next year. But I didn't see the game today, so I can't comment on how well or what specific Shough did. But it's going to be the process of we have to solidify some offensive line play to get time to really evaluate if is he going to be the long-term answer. So going into the draft, I think you have to at least hold on to him as your starter for another year, probably 2 years, unless things like really go sideways, and add pieces through free agency and the draft to support him to make a full evaluation of can he be the quarterback going forward. And you don't need a elite top 3, 4, 5 quarterback to win in the league, because look at the 5 best quarterbacks right now. Only one of them, maybe 2 of them, are in the playoffs. Burrow is on the outside looking in. Mahomes might be out after tonight. Lamar, they're probably done as well. So like you can win with like
a Daniel Jones.
I don't disagree, but you see Daniel Jones kind of coming back to earth a little bit, even before the injury that happened today. But his last 2, 3 games were not very good. Sam Darnold was red hot for a while, and he kind of slowed down a little bit. But someone like say C.J. Stroud, he was a top first round pick in the draft, had an awesome first year, and he's regressed a good bit in the last year and a half, 2 years. Yeah. And some of that was from his O-line play is bad, so you can't really put all of it on him. But there are teams that have shown like a Baker Mayfield, you can win with a 7 through 15 ranked quarterback. But all those teams that are winning that way have pieces around that quarterback to help him succeed, usually starting with a really good offensive line or running game or elite receivers and skill players to make that quarterback shine.
Yeah, and look, I've had so many people complain about how we draft so many offensive line in like the first and second rounds, but I mean, Shough is running for his life almost every play, and you're not going to see him develop into a great pro quarterback unless you have a solid offensive line in front of him. So I'm not opposed to drafting another high offensive lineman.
I agree with you. You just got to make the correct evaluation to land the right pick. I mean, you look at go back to Detroit when they had the option of Jamar Chase or Penei Sewell, and they got crushed for taking Sewell. Both the Bengals and the Lions have benefited for the picks that they made in that draft, but the Lions institutionally said we're going to build on the offensive line to give whatever quarterback we have a chance to make plays and let our skill players do a lot of work for him. And I think it's worked out. So as long as you hit on your O-line pick or your high draft pick like that, that's the main thing. You have to hit on that pick. If not, it's going to be a rough year. But all the best teams that are like top in the league in terms of making the playoffs or just in general, they have really good offensive lines. You have to start there. And if you have to burn or spend a high draft pick on one of those, so be it. You need that protection for your quarterback. Like Dallas was notorious for drafting offensive linemen high in the first round or first overall pick, even like with Martin or something like that. Yeah. And it's worked out for them. They have other deficiencies, but you're not going to say their O-line and Dak is not protected to allow him to get the ball to whomever.
Dude, I'm okay with it. Like I would say, but I think this year you kind of moved down a little bit before, like maybe like a second or third round offensive lineman, maybe take a big playmaker, a pass rusher, cornerback. I think that would be, to me, a little bit better this year than go 3 years in a row with an offensive lineman.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not saying spend the pick on an O-lineman. You just need to improve that area of your team. But yeah, we have so many deficiencies. Yeah, you could go offense or a playmaker, or you can go on the defense and get a pass rusher or a corner, a safety, whatever the case may be. But I would not even entertain a quarterback or a running back high up in our draft for next year.
Evan Neal looked good today too.
He did. And the thing is, like, Kamara's on his way out. Who knows what Miller comes back as? I'm assuming
he's going to be irrelevant after Neal runs away with the rest of the season.
Yeah, it's me. Neal.
But I think he could play. He may need to play a complementary role because you see when he gets bulk carries, he gets hurt. But him coming back as a good backup to Neal would be solid. The other thing I want to point out about the offensive line is we have so much money invested in them now. I think the only place we don't have a spot is one of our guards because we traded Penning. So that would be the only spot to really hit because if you look at the rest of it, we've pretty much invested so much money into it that they're probably there for a while. I don't know what McCoy's contract looks like anymore, but the rest of the line is.
I think he's here for a couple more years or something.
Yeah, and we just re-signed Ruiz, which may be a bad move, but unfortunately he's not going anywhere. So it's just a matter of putting in one more guard in there, and we should be fine.
I mean, we're spoiled because we forget how good our O-line was when Breeze was still here.
Yeah.
I mean, we have Jari Evans, who can be a freaking Hall of Famer.
Look, I thought John Stinchcomb was one of the most underrated offensive linemen, for a long time.
Ramczyk was a plug and play. Dude was it's sad that he got, the arthritis or whatever that made him have to retire early, but he was like a perennial Pro Bowler.
If you remember though, when we drafted him, people were criticized. He was heavily criticized for being injury prone, and he was very durable for us for a while until the end. So.
Yeah, it really wasn't until the last couple of years that he started getting hurt. He was pretty good. But look, I take away that I feel like we found a quarterback, at least for, like Patrick said, maybe not just next year, but the next couple of years, and it gives you something to build upon. It gives you a little bit of hope for next year. Obviously, this season's a wash. We're 3-10, so we're not going to the playoffs by any stretch. But just to end on a high note is going to be something really good for us. And the fact that we do have 4 games against 4 beatable teams could hopefully help us end on a high note.
Before we move off from football, what do you think the concussion test that Mendoza took yesterday looked like? Do you think the trainer was like, what color is this red fire truck?
Can you tell me how many 4 fingers I'm holding up?
He said green. So
it was like the Brian Dable Russian Jackson dart out of the blue tent kind of thing. Yeah, because it was very, very quick. His brother took one snap and he came right back on the field. So anyway, yeah, but. That's the same thing. That's the same thing that happened to Tua last year or 2 or 3 years ago when he had that really bad one because he went and had one and then they bring him back in the locker room. Oh yeah, he's fine. Next week he's like almost dead on the field.
Like slams the back of his head on the ground. Yeah, he was like laying there lifeless for like 5 seconds. Yeah, curling his fingers.
Jesus.
Oh boy,
we're all going to hell.
Oh boy, yeah.
Not for this reason.
All right, so moving on from pro football, there's definitely we already kind of leaked into a little bit of watching Big Ten championship and talked about Ohio State, losing to Indiana, the concussion that may or may not have taken place among Mendoza. But what about some of the other games? What the conference championships are playing out. I know, us being in New Orleans, we were happy to see Tulane, end up winning their conference championship. I thought that was really good. Especially, with Summerall going out, I think that was a good way to kind of close out his, and now they're going to the playoffs. So, is there any games that really stood out for y'all?
Roll motherfucking wave.
And it's not a homer thing, but the Georgia-Alabama game stood out the most to me in terms of just watching 2 Titans play. The Ohio State-Indiana game was really good. It was a close competitive game the entire way. I just don't think a lot of people really know about Indiana and like how good of a team they are and how good of a coach Dick Netty is. And I think the general consensus that for maybe people who don't follow as much as that Ohio State was going to roll through Indiana because they haven't really had a close game all season and they've been kind of just mulling about it, not really been stressed. But the Georgia Bama game was really, really fun. Georgia kind of dominated that game for the most part. Bama kind of made it close towards the end, but then they just had a bunch of plays not go their way, and Georgia just ran the ball and was the more physical team that day, and that's Georgia's MO. The only other game I caught was Texas Tech BYU, and that was a fun game. Well, not for BYU. They had a lot of turnovers and interceptions and whatnot, but Texas Tech, I think, showed that they were a pretty legit outfit and that the money they spent in the portal this year is actually paying off for them. and it sets up some pretty interesting matchups for the first round of the playoffs, and then potential second round matchups, depending upon who goes.
I want to throw something out there. Well, for two things. Well, one, I'm going to go back to Ohio State, Indiana for a second. The normal consistent field goal kickers that they have seem to really choke, and I get it, they're kids, because I'm going back to New Year's Eve a couple of years ago when Ohio State played Georgia, and my son is a Georgia fan, I'm an Ohio State fan, so it was kind of like one of those house divided situations. We were both decked out in our own team stuff, and then Ohio State should have won that game, and their kicker missed probably about a 30-yard field goal. Last night, you have the game where the Ohio State should have tied that game, pushed it into overtime, and their kicker Fielding missed what looked like a 15, 20-yard field goal.
I think it was 23.
I mean, it was nuts because, it looked like it should have been a given, give me to go into overtime, and he shanks the crap out of it. And, I get it, pressure comes, they're kids, but at the same time, that's to me something I've noticed as an Ohio State fan. Is the kicking needs to get better in those clutch situations.
Two things. One, it's not even yes, being that they're less experienced than say NFL players, but you see in the pros a lot. Look at the Saints and our kicking woes. So it's just the position and in that moment puts the pressure on you, but also
Poopy.
He's playing meaningful football right now.
Yeah,
As he said on Twitter.
Back in the Nick Saban dynasty run, they had a really bad kicking and field goal problem as well, and I think they've resolved that. But they had a bunch of years where they had an unreliable kicker. And back to the Ohio State game, Indiana missed a kick as well. So let's say they make that kick, it would have been a 6-point game in theory. So you would have had to score a touchdown versus the field goal. So it would have changed not the outcome maybe, but at least how you would have had to approach that last drive. So it went both ways. I think both teams played pretty decent. The defenses were very, very good, and they stifled the offenses. Ohio State was a bit more shocking, being that they have two excellent receivers in a pretty good running game. Indiana is just more of a solid, we're not going to break. We may not be the home run threat that Ohio State is, but they are a very efficient team, and they blew out some teams during the year as well.
Somebody's on the field grabbing a knee.
Bro.
But anyway, the other thing I want to say is I got to give an apology to Georgia because they looked like the much better team against Alabama yesterday. And at the beginning of the year, I was giving Carson a very hard time because y'all know, they let Carson back walk to enter the portal and go to Miami because they basically said they were moving on from him, and they replaced him with Gunnar Stockton. I got to watch Gunnar Stockton in the Sugar Bowl last year. He's a very undersized guy. He's more of a mobile running quarterback than a passer. And the way he started this year, I really thought he was going to struggle for the majority of the year, but he really seems to have developed as a passer as the season's gone on, and he looked mighty good yesterday. So I guess I got to give some credit where it's due there. He's panning out to be a pretty good quarterback.
Yeah. Along that same line, I don't need to apologize for this because I didn't really say anything bad about them as a team, but I'll tip my cap to Tulane for winning their conference and getting into the playoff. Yes, Todd?
Can you please explain why you wanted Charlotte to take a steaming dump on Tulane's chest?
I'm just not a Tulane football fan. It goes no deeper than that. It's nothing about a player or a coach or anything like that. I'm just not a Tulane fan. I'm probably what I would consider more of a realist in regards to what I think they are or can be as a football program.
Tulane is who we thought they are.
A Charlotte steamer.
It's I probably from the outside I probably seem as more of a hater than I
was about to say that sounds
am.
like words from a hater, not just like you're indifferent.
No, I think I have a more realistic opinion of what Tulane is and what they're going to be. For example, a friend of mine he's an Ole Miss fan and an alum, and when the Brian Kelly thing, not Brian Kelly, I'm sorry, the Lane Kiffin thing went down, I tried to put it in a way to say that Lane Kiffin is not going to win a national championship at Ole Miss. This year they have a goodish chance as they've ever had to do that in their history, but their ceiling is not, I don't think, super high. They can compete, but I don't think they're one of the 4 or 5 best teams in the country, and that they can make a run, but I don't think they're an elite team that's going to actually win a national championship. And I think part of the reason that Lane Kiffin left is because he recognizes the ceiling of what Ole Miss is and maybe where they could eventually be. They're not going to recruit better than, say, a Texas, a Georgia, Alabama, LSU, Ohio State, maybe Oregon, et cetera, like that. They can be a top 10 program. They're just not an elite program in college football.
That's why I don't get the butthurt, because Tulane let it Summerall coach because they know that he's moving on to bigger and better things going to Florida. They get it, and Ole Miss is all butthurt over it. I get it's interconference, but
I think that's the part of the biggest thing. And plus,
going to a rival, yeah.
Plus, it's Lane Kiffin, and he makes every situation a shit show. Mm-hmm. So they were probably like, "Listen, man, we're kind of done with dealing with you in some ways. Thank you for the success that you brought to us, and you're the best coach that they've ever had, plain and simple." But like, he wears on people, on everyone. But I think the being in conference was probably the biggest factor. Plus, he's going to be poaching potentially players and coaches to come to LSU with him.
Right.
But back to the Tulane thing, they're in the playoff. That is awesome. That's great for them. Do I think they're going to be able to do anything? No. Of relevance, no. For them as a program, yeah, it'll be relevant to.
So you think
it would be funny if
going
they
to take a
upset
steam
Ole
and
Miss.
dump on them?
No, I'm not going to say that because I don't.
Mississippi steamer.
I don't know. I don't know how much I'm going to trust Ole Miss. Not so much because they don't have Lane, but just seeing them play. I'd imagine they should beat Tulane, but I think it'll be a lot closer than it was the first time when they played this earlier in the season. I just think I feel like I know what the ceiling of Tulane is, and it is not what a lot of their fans think is like, oh, we're going to make a run, we can do this and whatnot. It's a great story, and I'm happy for the city, the state, and all that. I just don't think they're going to do much in the playoff.
It would be pretty sweet, though, to see Tulane upset Ole Miss. Just saying.
To me, it could happen. Like,
Roll
I mean, without Kiffin, I mean, I know they've kind of made that move to promote their defensive coordinator, and they've said he's going to be the guy moving forward. So, we'll see, and maybe if he really sucks, they might change their mind on that. I don't know.
I don't think they will, but they also, the other good thing, they're keeping their offensive coordinator. Charlie Weiss Jr. is staying at Ole Miss to coach the bowl. To go to the playoff for the playoff.
But he is going to LSU afterwards, right?
I believe so.
Okay.
They were like, we need somebody to coach.
Yeah.
But the defensive coordinator is going to be the head promoted to head coach.
Yes. Yeah. And I think they might be able to pull it off and shock, quote unquote, Ole Miss in the first round. Just looking at the other teams I don't think Tulane is the caliber of those teams from a talent standpoint. So I don't see them doing much more past that.
We know that. We're just glad they're in. I find it hilarious they've made the college playoff before LSU, but
That's a down year thing. I mean, you win that conference you're in, so for the most part, so it is what it is. But again, I know I sound like a Tulane hater, and I'm okay with that. I'll take that heat. I just don't see them doing much of anything. But you know what? As a fan, you're supposed to maybe have a bit of irrational faith and confidence and hope in your team. So
I was actually talking to a guy that's in med school at Tulane, and he said last night, he did his undergrad at Tulane too. And I said, "Oh, you happy about the win last night?" He's like, "Oh, I don't really care because when I was doing my undergrad, they were dog shit, so I don't really care. It's like they just get good overnight, like in the last less than 5 years, and it's just like whatever. Yeah, I'm at Tulane, but it's no big deal to me."
I mean, and also, part of me does hope they do well. Because I want to see Summerall show some more of his acumen and just show off a bit if he can, since he's going to Florida next year. So I'm rooting for them to be a compelling story. I just don't think it's going to be everything that some of the fans might think.
No, I definitely don't think it will be. I'm just whatever happens.
So do you put your hatred for Tulane like in the same category as Todd and I for LSU?
No, because I don't even dislike Tulane football fans. as a whole.
Well, they're not arrogant fans. I mean, they don't really have much to be arrogant about.
No, so, okay, I'm glad you said that. They don't have much to be arrogant about, but you talk to them, you would think that like they're like they feel like they're disrespected in some ways, or that like, we're on the this and that. And I'm like, it's a bit of false hope, I think.
RMFW.
Yeah, you need to realize who you are. Like you're Tulane football. You're building something, but you are not anywhere close to these elite programs.
But there's something else I'd like to add to that because I used to frequent the Tulane games with a former friend who had season tickets, and when I first started going with him, the student section was pretty empty. I mean, this is when they had just started getting good. I think it was when they first hired Willie Fritz. But then towards the end of that season, the student section was starting to get packed. So I mean, it just shows you that some of the fans for Tulane can definitely be fair weather, and that is one reason why when they had it in the dome, when they used to have the games in the dome, it was an absolute disgrace because nobody went to it.
Right. And fair weather might be a tad harsh because if you have never been a program that's been really good and then you start having success, yeah, fans are going to come out more. LSU women's basketball prior to the Kim Mulkey hire has been middling, mid-tier like that, and the fans still turned out, don't get me wrong, but now it's so hard to get a ticket for some of their home games and things like that. So as teams get better, yeah, the fans will show up, and it's a bit fair weather, I agree, but also if you were a Mississippi State fan and all of a sudden they start to turn around, like if you lived in Starkville, you would probably start going to more games, being like, oh, the team is fun to watch. There's a chance they could win almost or be competitive in every game they play. I think this is human nature. Like, hey, I don't want to go watch shitty football. Mm-hmm. Like, even the most diehard Saints fan probably says, you know what, I can skip going to this game because it's going to be a bloodbath. Like, so it happens. I get it, but
do you think that if UNO basketball or UNO baseball really becomes this like absolute dominance, that the fans will just come out of the woodworks and start attending games?
No.
Yeah, I think if let's say somehow
nope.
they were to win the Southland 2 years, like let's say they won the Southland the next 2 years, and they got an invite
they might have closed with Dax
and got to a regional. You don't think the third season that more fans would show up to the baseball game knowing that the team is good or at least much better than they used to be?
I mean, I think they could. It's just, I kind of see where Travis is going with this, though, kind of based off the track record. They've had good seasons in the past. And
sure.
So back when they had like Johnny Giavitello on the team and Joey Butler, they were really good at that time. And I'm pretty sure they still weren't drawing fans. Maybe
not to a sold out stadium level, but I guarantee you there was an uptick in the amount of attendees.
Yeah, there was a spike. I mean, especially the two versus Tulane or LSU. Remember it was on TV and stuff, and it's like people are watching UNO baseball on TV for like the first time in their life.
Got a frog in here?
Hey,
a repeat offender frog.
All right, so I actually went ahead and pulled up the bracket for the college football playoff, and I'll mention them really quickly, and if anybody wants to throw anything out based upon these games, and if there's any of them that really excite you. So it looks like James Madison plays Oregon. The winner will go on to play Texas Tech. Alabama plays Oklahoma. The winner will go on to play Indiana. Tulane plays Ole Miss. Winner will go on to play Georgia. And then Miami plays Texas A&M. Winner will go on to play Ohio State. Do any of those really stand out?
2 and 4, you said, are the only ones that matter. Meaning of those pieces of the brackets. 1 and 3 sound like, they're not in there for any reason.
Bob, I'll let y'all go first because I have a lot more to say probably than you guys do about the college football playoff.
About James Madison.
Well, I mean, as an Ohio State fan, I'm looking at this and seeing that either one of these teams, I think, could be a good matchup for Ohio State. I feel like Texas A&M or Miami. I feel like Texas A&M will probably walk away with a win on that one, and that would be a tough matchup for Ohio State. I think Georgia pretty much is going to run that bracket because I don't think Tulane or Ole Miss is going to beat them. You're right. I think Sean made a good point there. Like Alabama and Oklahoma, the winner of that could definitely give Indiana a run. I think Texas Tech is just overall a really good story. I don't know how good they will be against one of these powerhouse teams, but they definitely were a good story this year.
Who are they playing the winner of?
James Madison and Oregon.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Oregon could probably give them a tough time.
Patrick, who's the new coach of James Madison?
The Nape.
Oh yeah, Billy Nape.
Billy Napier.
And you know what? Honestly,
Sunbelt Billy.
he will probably do very well there. The two coaches prior at James Madison prior have built that program up and are getting them to a good place. They're now in.
Wasn't Signetti from there?
Yes. And then Chesney was there to replace Signetti, and he's now, I think, going to UCLA.
Okay.
But the last 2-3 years, they've started to build similar to what Tulane's doing. They're getting good players in. They're coached very well, and they're making a name for themselves. I don't know how or what the next step up for them would be, but they're at least trending in that direction. Russell, do you have anything you want to add?
Well, you know how big of a football fan I am.
I mean,
Especially for college.
I can tell you've been itching for the last 20 minutes to
Just
say
say
something
roll.
about
Just say roll, motherfucking wave, and then just.
Do you have anybody you're pulling for in the playoffs there?
No comment.
Tulane?
He would probably say
New Orleans.
any team that fades Patrick, in his opinion.
Well, Florida's not in it, so you don't have to worry about it totally offending Patrick.
Oh, why is Florida not in it?
Because they're ass.
Why don't you talk about LSU playing the University of Houston?
I actually heard that Florida and Mississippi State are actually playing in like a separate bracket. Like,
Yeah, well, you know, Dad used to always say that college bowl season was the most wonderful time of the year, but my 5-7 Mississippi State Bulldogs actually made the Duke's Mayo Bowl.
how the fuck did they make it at 5-7? Did somebody else turn it down?
Somebody had to have backed out.
Well,
But
we know Notre Dame did.
And
they're playing Wake Forest.
Baylor passed on their bowl too, so you know they could have got one of them. But I think they're playing in like the NIT of bowls.
Yeah, pretty much.
Does anybody have anything else they want to throw out on the bowl season before we move on from this?
I'll go, and I'll try to not be too long-winded on it. I think there's some very good matchups and some bad matchups I'm excited to see. Just going through the bracket, the James Madison Oregon game is probably going to be the most lopsided one. All of them, just James Madison does not have the talent to really hang with Oregon, and they're playing in Oregon, which is a extremely tough place to play. So I'm not going to even say that they have a much of a chance, but hopefully they can at least keep it somewhat relevant for that game. The Alabama-Oklahoma game will be interesting. They just played recently, and Oklahoma beat them in Norman, Oklahoma. So that'll be a fun rematch. I think Georgia kind of set the precedent of how you want to deal with Alabama in terms of dealing with their offense. It'll be a matter of can Oklahoma's offense actually score and do anything. Tulane, Ole Miss. If you're Tulane, try to slow down the quarterback and not let the game get out of hand.
Score a point or two.
They're going to have to do something. They're going to have to get kind of creative because
Roll motherfucking wave.
Ole Miss can score a couple different ways, so they're going to be a tough challenge. The winner of that game, I feel bad for them because they're going to get Georgia, and Georgia looks like a juggernaut right now. Miami A&M is probably the most intriguing because they're the probably closest match teams in this round. And I would lean A&M just because I think they're more complete overall. But Carson Beck's been playing well after a dip. The winner of that game playing Ohio State will be really fun as well because, again, Indiana kind of showed you how to kind of maybe contain Ohio State a bit. I don't expect them to have two bad games or two down games offensively like that, but those two teams, at least from a defense standpoint, are going to pose a threat to Ohio State, which if we kind of chalk it out, I think Ohio State, Georgia, if they both win, would be a really, really good game. I'm sure the Olivier household will be divided once again and have a real good time with that.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I think Carson was kind of like thinking Alabama was going to beat Georgia yesterday. He was a little, oh great, we got to play Alabama. And when we're watching the game as he's getting ready for the dance last night, and he's like, whoa, we're going to win. So pretty nice. Like I said, they definitely have really turned it on towards the end of the year, and have grown to really be one of the better teams.
Was he like, hold on, babe, I got to see the end of the game before they went to homecoming?
Yeah. I think the biggest talking point from the football bracket is that the committee did what most people agree is the right thing by not including Notre Dame. One, because they're head-to-head versus Miami. Miami won that game. Granted, it was the first week of the season. I get it. But the head-to-head should matter. And they finally did the right thing and put Miami ahead of them after BYU lost to kind of secure that. But a lot of people are probably shocked because Notre Dame, with as big of a brand that they are and bring how much money they bring to the table, leaving them out, I think probably sent a really strong statement that they don't placate completely to big brand Notre Dame and all the things that they want and that they think they're entitled to. So,
But it's Notre Dame.
Exactly. And
Rudy went there.
Well, you know.
Yeah, again, I think their big thing is, pick a conference, win your conference championship, and you might not have to worry about this shit,
Just join the AAC, and then you could be playing Ole Miss.
I forget the other game they lost beside Miami this year. I think they only have 2 losses, but yeah, it was just a matter of the head-to-head mattered. They lost by not a wide margin, but they weren't in that game a whole lot against Miami. And Miami, though they struggled and dipped in the middle of the season, they were the better team. At least for the resume, it looks better. So, yeah, that's just how it went down. But I'm impressed that the committee did not put Notre Dame in, even because they did not deserve to be in ahead of Miami. So that was probably the biggest talking point of everything I've seen and heard for the past couple weeks regarding the playoff scenario. I think everybody else is properly in and probably about where they should be. And I think, yeah, the ACC not getting a team outside of Miami is weird, even though Miami didn't win the conference championship or didn't even play in it. That was also strange, but that's the ACC. They have some really weird rules about how they do their conference tiebreakers and et cetera, whatever.
Who was in their conference championship?
Duke and Virginia.
Oh, okay, that one, yeah.
What a shit game.
Yeah, I heard about Duke winning in overtime, yeah.
I think I made the comment to a buddy through text that we're talking about if we're going to watch that game, and I'm told him I would rather watch the scene in Casino Royale where James Bond or Daniel Craig has his balls hit with the swinging rope for the entire amount of time the game is played than watch that actual game because it had to be dog shit. No offense, Duke or Virginia.
Yeah, I didn't have any problem. I personally would have rathered Virginia win just because I didn't really want to see Mensah win because he left Tulane high and dry, and I think Tulane ended up working out better off without him getting Retzlaff. But anyway, to each his own, I guess. Before we fully move on, did you want to say something on that?
One last thing: is Tulane a feeder school or like a stepping stone school?
Probably.
Okay. Their fans probably don't want to think and hear that, but I'm just letting you know. A bit like Ole Miss, you're kind of a stepping stone to a bigger job for coaches and for maybe some players. And that's my thing with Tulane.
But how big of a jump was it for Mensah to leave Tulane to go to Duke? I mean, it wasn't.
But I mean,
from
from
a football
coaching,
standpoint,
I can kind of see what he's saying from a coaching perspective, though.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Even though I don't necessarily think that Fritz left Tulane and went to Houston and got that big of a jump, but I mean, some are all going to Florida.
Well, they said that Fritz had a lot to do with family, his family being in Houston and things like that. So.
Yeah, but also going to the conference with Houston in it is a jump up from playing in the conference that Tulane is in. It's not like he's taking going from Tulane to Michigan like that, but Tulane is, for the most part, and is a stepping stop for coaches or whatever like that. So, who's the new coach now for Tulane?
They didn't pick anybody.
Coach yet?
They were zeroing in on Napier or the defensive coordinator for LSU, and I think both of them have moved on. I mean, the defensive coordinator staying at LSU, and then Napier signed with James Madison.
The Coach O rumors are circulating, though.
Just mark my words. If it's not some previously established coach like Coach O, if it's some coach from a smaller conference like that coach, he's going to, and if he continues to do what the past 2 coaches of Tulane have done, he's going to be gone after 4 or 5 years. I'm telling you, It's going to happen, and it's not. I'm not trying to be a hater. It's just you do well at Tulane, you are going to get recruited to a bigger program, and you're probably going to leave because one, you'll have more NIL money, you'll have a better chance of getting recruits, you're going to get paid more money, and you get to be in a bigger conference and to try to do bigger things. And again, that's why I say I don't want to come off as a hater for Tulane. I'm trying to just be a realist as to what they are as a program.
All right, so you said gone after 4 or 5 years. So I think that's a good segue into let's talk a little bit more about LSU's hire of Lane Kiffin.
Okay.
All right, so I know we have some LSU fans at the table, or maybe more so just one. I don't know where we don't know where Russ stands on this, but
Russell is Switzerland. He's just neutral about it.
He's Switzerland, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Go Louisiana Tech Bulldogs.
there you go.
There you go. Yeah.
Did they make a bowl?
Definitely not.
No idea.
You want it?
I also have
They're usually
no
they're
clue.
usually pretty decent to make bowls, but
La Tech's playing LSU women's basketball next week.
Let's go.
All right.
They might have made the Lysol toilet bowl cleaner a bowl.
But look, so how do you guys feel about Lane Kiffin as a whole? Like, to me, I think my big takeaway is again, I don't, Todd and I are pretty much outspoken as far as not being LSU fans. I've never been a Lane Kiffin fan either. I've always, found him to be kind of a smug, arrogant asshole. So I am all for the idea of him taking the same road that Orgeron has taken, that Kelly has taken, where he's there 3 or 4 years, and then the LSU fan base gets fed up with him, and the boosters get fed up with him, and he's gone. So I actually find that it'll be pretty hilarious because I do feel like a lot of fans are really liking this hire and are already pretty much proclaiming that he's going to take them to win a national championship. So I think it'll be pretty funny if he doesn't, but that's just me, I guess.
So I'm gonna jump in on this in a second, but I just Googled it, and Louisiana Tech did make a bowl game. They're gonna be playing Coastal Carolina in the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl.
What?
Hey, the Independence Bowl in Shreveport.
Coastal Carolina.
There you go, Patrick. Get your tickets. It's in
Give me Coastal Carolina -5. No offense to La Tech. I know what Coastal Carolina is as a football team.
They don't have
I
far
watch-
to go. It's right down the road from Ruston. Go to Shreveport.
I wouldn't call that not far down the road.
I've passed that Independence Bowl stadium, and it looks like a high school stadium. I'm like, college teams play here. Holy shit!
Having done that drive 5 times in 4 weeks, it's not a close drive. It's close, but it ain't close.
Not close enough.
Oh, you mean from Ruston to?
No, from New Orleans to
Yeah.
Shreveport.
Yeah.
It's a terrible drive.
But when they open that Bucs in Ruston, though,
Hey,
best believe
there you go. Yeah.
I'm going. It's an hour past Shreveport. I will drive an hour past Shreveport to go to Bucs and then go back to Shreveport for work.
Yep.
Book that. Todd, did you have anything else you want to?
I mean, I'm not a fan of Lane Kiffin at all. I mean, the Ole Miss thing certainly doesn't help that he was at Ole Miss for the past couple seasons. Being a Mississippi State fan, Ole Miss is their arch rival. In this past game, then the Egg Bowl, right before halftime, the players broke out in a fight. And he's basically getting interviewed, blaming it all on Mississippi State, saying we're just here to play football, and he starts blaming it on Mississippi State's athletic director. It's like, where did that come from, dude? Then at the end of the game, he's confronting the reporter that called him a hoe for basically doing exactly what he did.
To be fair, though, if someone called you a hoe, do you not think you would take a bit of umbrage with that and be like, "Hey, bud, what's your problem?" Maybe not go about confronting the way that Lane did, but although I do stand up for Lane, the fact that he said, "Yeah, you said that in on air or in public, whatever, but you can say it to my face." I support that. Like if you're gonna call me a name or tell me something like that, tell me to my face.
But did the guy at least call him a hoe to his face?
No, and he didn't.
he didn't.
So Lane called his bluff, and you know what? That might be one of the few times I will support Lane Kiffin on something.
Anyways, but he also he just gives off like these extreme womanizer vibes, and I don't know if it's
Well, you saw the text messages that the ladies from Ole Miss were putting out, right?
no, it didn't.
Oh, please.
I mean, I figured that's what was going on. I mean, the
So,
dude just seems like a slime bag that
please-
combs the campuses.
when you get time, please go
Exactly what an
Google,
LSU coach should be.
please,
He's going to be hitting up Tigerland. So I mean,
please go Google Lane Kiffin Ole Miss yoga, and there's been a multitude of women that have come out and they've been like showing and screenshotting the text messages between them and Lane Kiffin. for the time he was been in Oxford, it's wild, and it's
I believe
full Lane scummy D-bag type behavior. So
I bet Sark's had his Coach Sark's probably had his fair share of allegations.
well,
Though.
he's had other problems, and I'm not here to get on Sark for his problems, but
I guess another thing that about Lane is his track record and just leaving teams high and dry. I mean, as you kind of said earlier, LSU is probably one of the college football teams that's kind of at the top as far as recruiting goes, as far as pay goes. Do you see him leaving LSU high and dry at any point, or do you think that he's?
No.
You think
He's getting a shit ton of money.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that case. I think it'll be the other case where if he doesn't put forth the expectations, like if he loses 3 games a year and for a couple of years he'll probably be fired. But then they'll be out on the hook for some more millions of dollars.
Spaceballs. He's not doing it for money. He's doing it for a shitload of money.
I would say regarding LSU fans and their thoughts on his hire, it's kind of like it feels like it's a be careful what you wish for sort of thing. They wanted Lane Kiffin. They wanted an offensive guy to turn around some of the struggles they've had the last couple of years, be it coach or quarterback. I think he has the football acumen to elevate this program to back being a contender for a national championship. Whether it happens or not, I'm not saying that. I just think from an offensive standpoint, he has that ability. He will get recruits, and he should be able to pull recruits from the state, which is what Brian Kelly couldn't do. Mm-hmm. So, but the flip side of that is with getting Lane Kiffin and all his offensive ingenuity, you have to deal with Lane Kiffin, who is just really tough to deal with. He's very egotistical, as we all kind of know. He's got some shady shit going on with him. But the big knock on Lane is that he's never won anything. And that's all really fair. He did not succeed at Tennessee. He did not succeed in the pros. He is not going to finish the job of what he's been building at Ole Miss, but he does have a track record of taking programs that he starts with and building, like Florida Atlantic, I think he was. He took them from literally nothing to being maybe not relevant in the top tier of college football, but they were way more relevant than they were.
Yeah, they were good.
He's built Ole Miss from just being a probably 5-6 win team to in the playoff this year.
Who did he coach for in the pros? Was it
The Raiders?
Was it Oakland?
The Raiders. Yeah, the Raiders.
It's a lot like Saban going to the Dolphins that were dog shit at the time.
Yeah.
And,
I think he was at USC as well, and I don't think he did. I don't know how much turnaround or how great he was there, but
he wasn't the head coach at USC, was he?
I thought he was.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Because I thought he left USC. He was at Tennessee. He left them for the pros. Then I think he came back to USC. Some USC is in his resume somewhere. I forget in what capacity. I thought he was a head coach for a while, but as far as him at LSU,
from 2010 to 2013, he was USC's head coach.
Okay. As far as him at LSU, for LSU, you at least are out of this whole archaic offensive coach or mindset. So you should be better. You need to recruit better. You need to recruit in the state. I think he's going to get LSU kind of right back where they should be. Whether he delivers on getting to the SEC championship game and maybe a national championship, I don't know. I feel like he can do it. I just don't know how fast it'll happen for them. And again, at some point, the Lane experience is going to kind of wear on people, and he'll be gone. Or maybe he's 50 now, so maybe I don't know how much more maturing he can do or in his life, but we'll see.
all aboard the Lane train.
Yeah. But I think he'll still do well. I think he will do better than he's taken Ole Miss. I just don't know if it's going to be enough with the teams in the SEC that are at the high level. Like, he's got to find a way to get off Georgia, Alabama, Texas. So it's a 3 or 4 team. Well, even maybe I guess Texas A&M now with Elko. It's a top heavy conference. He better win the easy games, and he's going to have to start beating the other big names in the conference, or the fan base is probably going to turn within 2 years. And we know how quick LSU is to move on or just do their own dumb things from an administrative standpoint. So who the hell knows?
Does LSU play at Ole Miss next year?
They play at Ole Miss next year.
That's amazing.
That's going to be a wild scene. I imagine security is going to be nuts because like Ole Miss has been known, for throwing batteries on the field and things like that, or at least at Kiffin or whatever. So it's going to be a very, very interesting game. That game will probably be one of the highest rated college football games next year.
Shit. See, they know what they were doing. It's all moneymakers.
Yeah, the players transfer for more NIL and this and that, and coaches do it too. It's nothing new. So people getting that's always the thing. Like people getting hell bent about coaches leaving and this and that. Like they've been doing it forever. Like look at Saban. When Saban left LSU, he went to Miami for money. When he said that I will be the coach of LSU next year or whatever, and where'd he go? Miami the next year.
Yeah, and so did Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly wrote a letter to his team at Notre Dame and said, "Oh yeah, I'm here for you guys," or whatever. And a week later, he left for LSU.
Yeah, it's nothing new in every conference. So it's just now more high profile with the amount of money that is now being shown that you're not just paying under the table. Now you know what these kids are making and what the coaches are making, and they're making more money. So it's just a bigger spotlight on what's been happening forever.
I do like the videos of Lane getting on the plane and all the Ole Miss fans like yelling and cursing at him and stuff, and the comments are hilarious. Like, yeah, fuck you for going somewhere and making more money. You getting a raise, you asshole. Like none of us would do that,
And I totally get their frustration from an Ole Miss fan standpoint because he's leaving you, and not only is he leaving you, he's leaving you for LSU, who is not your most bitter rival, but is a state away from you. And the way he drugged the whole thing out, kind of toying along with the whole thing, I totally get it. But also, he is the best coach you've ever had in your history.
I do not get the timing with knowing that Ole Miss was probably making the playoff. It's like, why did it have to happen now? Why couldn't it happen at the end of the season?
Because the enrollment window just opened last week. So that's why a lot of the coaches.
That's why it always happens before the bowl games.
Yeah, that's why a lot of coaches left or took new jobs now because their recruiting started last week. So they had to get on campus and start doing that work. And like even Nick Saban on College Game Day talked about it. Before Kirby Smart left to go to Georgia, he allowed Kirby to stay on the team, but he told Kirby like, you have these specific days and these specific hours to go do your work for Georgia. When you're done with that, you come back to Alabama, you coach the rest of your team, and we'll go that. As soon as the bowl game ended and they won, he left the next day. So there are situations where it can happen, but because of the schedule with the recruiting opening up, that's why all these coaches are getting hired right now and while they're leaving right before this is
just
all going on.
It's just a weird system.
Yeah, it needs to be fixed. It's
not
so
like
much,
Kellen Moore became our coach right before the Super Bowl last year or something.
It's not so much on the coaches making these horrible quote-unquote decisions. It's the schedule from the NCAA of when recruiting opens that these decisions have to be made at this time, and that it screws everybody over, really.
All right, we are moving on from sports. Now we'll be able to turn Russell's mic on.
Sports.
And be able to contribute to the rest of the pod.
# sports.
All right, so one of the topics we wanted to talk about was Thanksgiving break and what everybody did for Thanksgiving, how it went for everybody. Does anybody want to start with their Thanksgiving?
I think Russell has to go first because he is literally 20 seconds of mic time. So Russell, please. I've talked too much.
If that, like 2 seconds of mic time.
Gladly. So I had a really good Thanksgiving this year. My current roommate got to attend Thanksgiving dinner with me and my family, and we had a really good time. His plans fell through. He's from out of state. He didn't go back home, and he didn't go visit a girlfriend and her family. So he came with me. We had a blast. He drank like a bottle of wine. He was shooting the shit with all my family, and we had such a good time. We ended up actually doing a cousin's night with my family recently, and he came along and did that with him. So he's just a part of the family now. But it was a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Your family wasn't like Russ. We have some questions.
Well,
it's like, no, he's a friend.
The next day, he's like, did I say anything that I shouldn't have said at Christmas dinner? Because like my family, and I'm sure everybody's families, talks about some crazy shit at holidays. I mean, we typically talk about our bowels and just random crap like that. Yeah. So it was funny hearing that from him. But I had a fantastic time.
A group of old people talk about surgeries and random things that, medications they're taking and shit.
Well, I guess I'll go next. I mean, ours was relatively uneventful, which is good and bad. I know like, for the longest time, Thanksgiving tradition was to go to my Aunt Madeline's house, which was my dad's oldest sister. She actually just passed away last year, and of course, my dad passed away 3 years ago. So Thanksgiving has been kind of really quiet from that as far as that side of the family, and we don't really do anything with my mom's side of the family either. So Todd and I, we usually just take the wives and kids and go spend some time with my mom. So we did do that, and it was nice, peaceful, quiet, and not a whole lot of drama, which I think is good for holidays because sometimes when the family gatherings get pretty large, that's when you do experience drama. And then Heather and I tried to host a Friendsgiving that night, and it was Sean and Sarah came over, and Todd and Jessica, and that was pretty much the extent of it. So it was a very small group, but it was nice to hang out on full bellies and just drink some alcohol and have some dessert. But again, overall, just very peaceful, quiet, and calm with no drama. So I'll take it.
I'll echo the same. Obviously, I went to Houston for the fam up there. Had a good time. The food was always as good as always. We did go to my cousin's house because she wanted to kind of host and have people at her house instead of kind of just popping into my sister's house for Thanksgiving. But aside from that, we just kind of watch football, watch sports, ate leftovers till we're blue in the face. Of course, I smashed every bowl of gumbo I could get my hands on, and that was kind of it. Just didn't go out bourbon hunting much. Didn't do too many breweries. A couple. What, Russell?
I feel like I bought bottles of bourbon through your bourbon hunting, so
I wasn't hunting per se. I was around stores.
just happened to run into a bunch of amazing bottles.
Listen, one of the bottles that you got was from a liquor store that was right by my nephew's house. I had to pass the liquor store to get back to my sister's house, so I stopped in. They had something. So the one thing I quote unquote hunted for was 3 bottles of Penelope for other people, not even for me. So that was that. So I went there to buy those specific bottles for y'all. I bought one for myself, passed by that liquor store and found that other bottle that you wanted. And then I met up with my buddy's brother who lives in north of Houston and gave him some bottles that I was bringing up from his brother. So other than that, I didn't really hunt. If I was in a liquor store, it's because I was buying something.
Okay, fair enough.
And Todd tried to reach out to you to get his like Johnny Ringo bourbon, whatever the fuck is the one he wants.
Ryan Bingham's.
Yeah, and that was my
bourbon.
fault. I forgot that the liquor stores are closed on Sunday, so I couldn't buy it, and it was too late on Saturday by the time I remembered to go run to the store. But you will have that for Christmas or post-Christmas.
Yeah. I mean, my Thanksgiving was very similar to Travis's. Just went to my mom's in the morning. It was a relaxing day. I drank a whole bottle of wine.
Bad boy.
Yeah, food was good.
Did you drink a whole bottle while you were at mom's? Or
No, it was spread out throughout the day.
Okay.
Did you visit Pluto?
No, I thought about it.
Did you take a piss at like 7 p.m. and go, this is my first time going all day today? Oh, wait, that was just me.
Did you just pee straight red wine?
Yeah, that was me.
But yeah, I mean, it was a relaxing morning. My mom made her amazing shrimp and melitons, but we went back Sunday for the Saints game hoping for seconds, and she said it was all gone.
So I even thought about that before we left. I was like, you know what, we should probably take some right now and save it for the next pod just so that Patrick can sample shrimp and melitons from my mom.
Well, I think everyone wants to sample, not just me.
You would have to freeze that.
Yeah.
I've been the biggest proponent of like trying to get some for us, but I'm sure Russell, Sean, and Mike would also like some shrimp and merlotons.
We're trying to get some from your mom.
But
Sorry for who just tuned in.
gross.
Wow.
Wow.
No, but no, I just figured we'd get you a big whole plate and we'd all just sit and watch you eat it on air. Kind of like we're about to do with Christmas ornaments.
Can't wait for that.
We're going to watch you eat Christmas ornaments.
Yeah, I'm going to eat the wrapping paper.
But my in-laws were actually in Nashville, so we didn't go to my in-laws this Thanksgiving. Normally, we go to my mom's in the morning, and then we'll go to my in-laws for Thanksgiving dinner. But they were enjoying their time in Nashville, Tennessee. So we did go to Travis's his Friendsgiving after. I didn't eat any dessert. I finished off a whole bottle of red wine, so I had brought beer to his house. I didn't feel like drinking any more wine. Because what we do, like tradition in our house, is we'll do our Thanksgiving stuff during the day, and then at night we set up our Christmas tree. And I always have a glass of red wine when I set the Christmas tree up. So I think that was the last of the bottles that I saved for the Christmas tree.
Shonsky?
Yeah. Went to my cousin's house as we normally do, and yeah, like my family loves wine, especially I don't know why at her house. It's like everybody. I brought a bottle of wine. I brought some decoy, and
Thank you for your support.
you're welcome. It was pretty good.
Limited edition?
Huh?
The limited, the blue label.
I don't know. I don't know if it was blue, but it was a black label maybe. If it was it was the one I recognized in your picture. It was that
Dark
same
blue.
It was dark blue.
Yeah. Fun fact: there's now 2 blue label decoys.
It's a blend in a cab, or I don't
Yeah,
know.
the one I had was a blend.
There's now the cab, and now there's a Paso cab.
Ooh.
Okay.
It's nerd
Yeah.
talk.
Yeah.
The bottle of wine I finished in its entirety was 19 Crime. So red wine.
Thank you for your support.
But
welcome.
I don't know if it's because my family has a French background. They always drinking like Beaujolais and like a lot of like Willamette, like a bunch of random French ones and shit. I know my parents bring a lot of them, but it's like wine after wine. It's like everybody's got their little like wine charms on the glass, and it's like, oh, I'm blue this year or whatever. And it was like I mentioned a little while ago, it's like 6 hours in, I'm like, I haven't pissed the whole time I've been here because I've been just down in wine after eating plates of food too. I'm like, I'm probably so dehydrated right now. And then my mom thought it was a great idea to bring Kenner-Opoly because she's like, I've had this at my house for like 5 years unwrapped, and like she literally opened it there and like thought it would be a good idea to bring this. And yeah, we started like a 6-person game of Monopoly that turned into like an all-day ordeal. Like people were, I gotta leave, and so like somebody would fill in and jump in somebody's spot and fill in.
Monopoly taking all day? No way.
And it was
The way it should be. Like
yeah. And even after I left, it was like I had to find out that like an hour or two later that like Joe Blow folded and this is who finally won. It was like, God damn.
the way God intended.
And I mean, it was fun. It was I kind of got roped into it. Like, hey, come play, and it's like, okay, whatever, and just kind of like walking back and forth, checking the game, and then go, oh, it's my turn again, So it was, it was cool to have, we're getting like, well, some of the kids in my family are getting older. My little cousin is not really little anymore. He's like a junior or a sophomore at Jesuit. And then even his cousin came over, meaning like on the other side of the family. But yeah, we had more people playing Monopoly, and it was a pretty decent Thanksgiving. And then, my cousin Tim made the gumbo. I forget that he puts duck in it. That video of that thing on the rotisserie, whatever the hell, that he always has some new contraption like that. That was a duck spinning on the rotisserie that he was adding to the gumbo. I was like, okay.
I think Cousin Tim's gumbo needs to be sitting next to Marlina's shrimp and merlotons.
Yeah.
So was the gumbo your top dish of the day? Or
Oh yeah,
was
it's
there
always
something else?
what I look forward to. And as full as I was, it was like I have to eat this. I think I texted them, was like, yeah, I'm about to die. So I'm like, I have to eat this, even though I'm not ready to eat again.
Well, that was the thing too at my mom's. Like it was just the 8 of us plus my mom and sister, and then she had so many sides, and so it's kind of like, all right, it's just us. You don't have to cook all of this. So then you have your plate, and it's just like crap piled on top of crap because you don't. It's like everything's good, so you don't want to miss out on something. So you have like a little scoop of everything on your plate.
Yeah, it's like I do a little thing of everything for the entrees, and then even dessert. I have a whole plate of like 6 different desserts, and it's like, God damn, I wish I could eat more of something, but I just don't have room for it.
Well, does anybody else have anything they want to add on Thanksgiving? No, sounds like everybody had a nice, restful, enjoyable break. I'm a little disappointed to hear that Patrick didn't hit more breweries while he was there.
I went to.
I know you went to Brash, huh?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I went to
Equal
Val's.
parts.
I went to Val's. I went to
Equal parts, all right.
And
I feel like I haven't seen a menu for
Balance,
Brash in
like
forever. You always share equal parts.
Valboski.
That one you share, that's equal parts, right?
yes,
I feel like I don't even remember what a Brash one looks like.
because they only had like 5 beers, and I was going to go there on Black Friday because they opened at 3, and they were doing releases in-store releases only of Vulgar Display of Power, and I wanted to bring back a couple more of those. But again, it was tap room only, so I couldn't even bring it back.
Bastards.
But I ended up doing other things to offset that and going to Val's, which is a little bit closer. And I hadn't been there in so long, and I wanted to try this oatmeal stout that they had. So we made the decision to go there instead of Brash. Plus, I was just kind of farting around other places and
Nice.
just eating gumbo.
Yeah. Speaking of, did anybody make any purchases on Black Friday or Cyber Monday?
One, I bought another backpack.
Yeah, I was able to find some deals for the
Fuck you,
kids
Russell.
on some things. I actually had bought all four between my two kids and Todd's two kids a pair of Rock'em socks, and they had a deal where I got a text and it said the first 75 people get 50% off the first. So of course I put the 50% off code, didn't work, and then I put the 40% off and it worked. So I
There
got
you go.
40% off all the socks, which was nice. And
Well-
then I'd actually bought one of Todd's gifts on Cyber Monday to get a deal on it.
Believe it or not, I watched a lot of, Black Friday and then Saturday, watched a shit ton of football and didn't really do a whole lot those 2 days. Watched the Bears, Eagles Friday. And then what was the first game? Ohio State, then it was LSU, then it was Tulane. And it was like the fourth quarter of the Tulane game, my TV decides to start flickering and turning on and off and shit. And yeah, I spent that Saturday night trying to figure out what the hell was going on. And it's like my TV, I think, was finally crapping out. I mean, that TV was installed right after we moved in the house in 2012. So it's 13 years old. Yeah, so Cyber Monday, I was at Best Buy buying a new TV. And yeah, it's getting delivered and installed because it's a fucking giant heavy-ass thing. Replacing a giant heavy-ass thing.
Samsung or Sony?
Samsung.
Bad choice.
Well, money-wise. But no, I didn't want the OLED. All the Sonys with the OLED.
Did you get 4K, 8K?
Yeah, 4K. Okay. The QLED, mini LED combo, something. Yeah. But it ended up being $1,100 off for Cyber Monday. So it's what a day for my TV or what a weekend for my TV to crap
Perfect
out.
timing.
So I went Monday, and it's this sale literally ends today. I need to buy this now, so finance the new freaking TV for 24 months. Zero financing at Best Buy.
I feel like the last 3 TVs I bought were all on Black Friday or Cyber Monday.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, it still ended up being $1,500,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's financed for 2 years, and they're going to deliver it on the 15th.
It sounds like there's going to be some 4K load management at the Villanueva household. That's all I heard.
That and all my old ass components and shit. I'm figuring out my receiver situation and surround sound and all that stuff.
Funny thing is, I completely forgot about that Black Friday game. And then Todd and I were actually talking about pulling Swift from the lineup and putting in Chris Rodriguez. And then I got a notification that Swift broke a 50-yard run, and I was crap, I forgot there was a game on right now, and I go check it, and thank God we left him in the lineup because I was about to pull him out the night before, but we started drinking and I forgot. And then that ended up being working for a good move for
Yeah,
us.
that game was watching the Bears run it rushing offense, just make the Eagles look silly.
Russell, did you buy anything on Black Friday?
Yeah, I actually got all of my Christmas shopping done, which was really nice. So besides one person, so I just have to find one more thing. But I always wonder if it's actually stuff on sale.
Yeah.
If they pull the stupid trick of let's say increase the price by 25% and then put it on sale for 25% off.
Or then when you go check out and you see that there's the shipping and then the sales tax bump it up to original price anyway. You know. That's pretty much what I saw on some of the stuff. Not the socks, but
There is this really cool, and if y'all are unaware, for Amazon purchases specifically, there's a website called camelcamel.com, and you can grab the URL from whatever product you're looking at on Amazon and put it in that, and it'll show you the price history of what it's been sold for, so you can actually check.
Gotcha. Yeah. It seemed like the sales were not that good. It was even on the news, even on Fox, that they were, interviewing people at Lakeside. And they're like, yeah, we just do this as a tradition, people with matching shirts for Black Friday and stuff. And they were saying, but yeah, most stores are only giving us 30% off. We're not really buying a whole lot. And it was it feels like Black Friday is not like it used to be.
not at all.
People waiting around the block to go, buy a PlayStation for $200 off or something.
Although Heather did get up early on Black Friday and take Scarlett to the mall, and I was like, I'm not dealing with that shit. Y'all go have fun.
I haven't done that in years. I mean, I did pull an all-nighter and show up to like Best Buy at like 4 a.m., but that's been like 15 years since the last time I did that.
Well, since we just talked about Thanksgiving and the amount of alcohol we had or purchased during that Thanksgiving break, Sean and I think Russell, did you stop by too at the Zupardo's Bourbon?
I did, but I didn't stay very long.
Did you buy something? Or
No, I didn't even buy anything.
You were there.
I showed up to talk to somebody else about bourbon, and then I left.
You didn't take any samples?
No.
Oh wow, okay. No, so I had a friend of mine from work had actually mentioned it to me earlier in the week, and I decided that if I had time, because I did have 2 clients, that I was going to meet them out there. I wish my one complaint about the event was that it was so quick. It was from 6 to 8, and then by the time I got there, it was after 7. So I think I only had like 45 minutes to go walk around the little barrels where people were serving.
Yeah, I was on the fence about going just because I had my child that night, and she was like actually home sick with fever that day. And she's sitting at home like, on the iPad. I'm like, are you good? Because I've had people, text me, you coming out? And I was like, okay, yeah. And I got there at like 6:50, 6:45. Mm-hmm. So like halfway through the event, but there's plenty of samples for me to get freaking toasted in just an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like Travis probably had to do some speed drinking, huh?
Yeah, well, it was funny because like I get there and then, we see, my friend from work and he's definitely a talker, so we're chatting it up, and then his wife was like, I think we need to go start making our way around, so that they can kind of catch up. So then we started going around and taking little samples, and there were only like little very tiny cups that you just basically threw back like a half a shot and whatnot. Sean, did you have any like favorites that you ran into?
I have two that I walked away with that I was really impressed with that I will buy at some point. And they had an Angel's Envy station, and I like Angel's Envy. The regular one's like one of my go-tos. They had a Barrel and Bond, I think it was called. It was a new one, with like a red label. That one was really good. Mm-hmm. The bottle, like the Zupardo's price was like $58.99.
Yeah.
That one over. There was another one next to it. I forget what it was called, but the guy was saying they were both new ones, Angel's Envy, and then the High West Campfire.
Yeah.
It was like that smoky taste. That was amazing. Like I'm going Cub Scout camping, fucking Camp Salmon again next weekend. Like I might go buy a bottle of that and drink it around the campfire.
Yeah. So I know I've seen like Rouse's will usually have like the High West display, out to where they have the regular one, which is my favorite, and then I've had it's called like is it Midsummer Nights with
Midwinter's Night's Dream.
Midwinter's Night's Dream. That I've had that one before, and I've always seen the campfire one, and I've never tried it, and then so that was my opportunity too, and that was one of my favorites that I walked away from. It definitely, like Sean said, it gives you that vibe that you are kind of sitting around a campfire and drinking it, and it has like that little bit of a smoky taste to it. It was very good. And then the other one that I was probably most impressed with, and I don't know why I've never had this before. I think Patrick has probably talked it up, and I probably should have taken it, should have tried it by now, because I am a fan of regular wild turkey, and I am a fan of the Long Branch. But I tried Rare Breed for the first time, and I think that was my favorite one of the whole night. So, and it's not overly pricey. It's about $20, probably more than the Long Branch. But it was a really, really good one.
They had a bunch of wild turkeys on one of them. Mm-hmm. I didn't make it. I didn't see that one. Yeah.
Yeah, it was on the side across. It was almost directly across from the High West one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I never went in that back corner. Yeah.
But those were the two that I liked the best. And then, of course, Heather made her way over to the Penelope one. And I thought that she might have tried that the time that y'all brought a bunch to my house. It was the peach one.
Yeah, I was going to say the Penelope. It figures they had the peach old fashioned, the blue architect one, and then the one that I just brought my cousin, the weeded, with all the wheat stalks on it, and I tried both of those, all three. I already knew I have a bottle of the peach old fashioned. I was pimping that one out, but then I tried the blue versus the weeded. I actually liked the weeded one better. Yeah. I think for the for the price. I mean, they weren't, neither one of them were bad. Just I didn't think the blue one blew me away or anything.
Yeah, Heather went back 3 times and got the peach. So that's in addition to the Rio, I think the peach is now one
they
of
were
our
out
favorites.
of the walnut. I think it was the other old fashioned one. They had a bottle of it and they were like pulling it out and letting people sniff it and shit. It's like it obviously went over well.
There's another one that they just recently released. They have not released it down in Louisiana, but one of the bottles Pat got me was the apple cinnamon old fashioned.
Okay. Yeah.
It's quite tasty.
So yeah, overall, like I mean, that's definitely something to put on our radar for next year. You know that they do this every year. I'm assuming it was the first time I'd heard of it, and ended up didn't even know if I was going to go.
Luckily, I had a guy from St. Edward. He's a real big bourbon guy, so he sent it to the whole group, and it was like, I've never even heard of this, but yeah, hell yeah.
It was the first time I had heard of it, first time I'd gone. But I think it's a really cool event that maybe we could go to all next year.
What time did y'all show up?
I got there about 7:15.
I was like 6:45. Yeah.
Okay, so y'all missed the real treat of the event, which is watching the bourbon nerds show up in really early, wait in line to be able to buy an allocated bottle per se.
Yeah, the guy I was talking about, he's like, yeah, just walk past the line, and that's all the people waiting, to buy chances to. Then, if you win, you get a chance to buy expensive.
Yeah, so they did a raffle. You got there in line, you got a ticket, and you had the opportunity, if your ticket was called, to go then buy a bottle. But those people are always entertaining to watch because they'll show up. Like Total Wine had a drop this past Saturday morning. I think they opened at 9:00. I want to say I saw when I left the Total Wine in Baton Rouge around 8:30. People were just starting to pull into the parking lot to then camp out overnight.
Oh shit!
For a 9:00 opening for the chance to buy some allocated bottles.
I heard somebody walk back, like one of the numbers they called, and somebody came back and was like, the dude just bought like $6,000. I don't know if it was a package or one bottle. I have no idea, but I heard $6,000. I was like, holy shit!
There was a whole set of, I forget what it was, but it was like 5 bottles that was like $6,000.
Yeah,
like the Weller. Probably
it wasn't Weller. I don't remember.
I didn't hear what it was, but I just heard somebody drop $6,000 on bourbon.
Probably was the Buffalo Trace collection, like the LaRue, the George Stagg, the Eagle Rare.
It wasn't that either, because I saw those when I was there earlier that day.
It was an interesting crowd because you had dudes in suits and coats and stuff, and you had it was a very interesting crowd.
But the friend I went with told me the same thing. He said that he's like, hey, when you go park, you're going to see a line out of the store. He's like, do not get in that line. That's not what we're doing. He's like, just go off to the side. There's a tent. Go under the tent. That's where the bourbon tasting is. He's like, the line is for people who want to put their name in for an auction to win expensive bottles.
The serious people. Yeah.
Russell will be there next year doing that. Don't worry.
So the only reason I wasn't waiting in that line this time is because I had a family event later that night that I couldn't be there for.
Nice.
All right. So also on Thanksgiving week, they had the release of the new season of Stranger Things. I know a few of us have probably watched the new episodes. Some of us probably have not. I think Todd has actually gone back and started because Jessica had never watched the seasons with him from the get-go, so he's actually starting all over with her before he watches the new ones. Heather and I actually watched the 4 new episodes, all 4 within a 2-night span. They're all, the show just pulls you in, and it's just a very easy, very good watch. But I'm not going to go into any detail about it because not many people have watched. But does anybody have anything they want to say about that?
Well, I was super excited about the new season coming out, and Jessica was like, "Well, I've heard so many good things about it. Like, should I watch it? Is it scary? Do you think I'll be scared of it?" And I was like, "I don't really find it scary. It's kind of got like I guess it's kind of got like an It / like E.T. kind of feel to it.
It's got a lot of comedy though. It's like comedy horror. It's lighthearted horror. Yeah.
It's definitely not scary. So and then look, even watching like the last season 4, I'm like, man, I should probably go. I feel like actually going back and watching all the previous seasons, and because there's things you forget. And so Jessica and I did decide Jessica did decide she wanted to start watching it, so we went back and started at season 1 again. We knocked that out in 2 days. But there was characters that I completely forgot about. First off, like Will and Jonathan's dad, I completely forgot he was even in the show. And the 2 bullies that bullied him, the kid that pissed himself, that 11 made piss himself, I forgot they were in it. So it's kind of interesting going back and watching this and seeing some things that either you forgot about or may have missed. But the show is just so good. It's an easy watch, and it's kind of aggravating me that since Thanksgiving break has ended and we haven't been able to just rapidly blast through it like we did the first season. But I'm definitely eager to get to season 5. I've heard everyone that's seen it so far said it's really good. So
They only released like half of it, right? Like
it's just the first 4 episodes.
When does the other half get released?
So they released, I think, the next 3 on Christmas Day, and then the very last one on New Year's Eve.
And it's
Okay.
also in movie theaters, that last episode.
Yeah, I can believe it.
Yeah. So yeah, very very good watching. I mean, for all Pat, have you never watched any of it? So he's Pat's a Stranger Things hater. All right. So.
Pat's not like a big
But it's-
TV series guy, though, right?
Thank you.
Well, yeah. Truth be told, I have not seen season 3 or 4.
Ooh. Yeah,
I've seen I saw 1 and 2.
Sean might have to do the start over again.
Rest in peace, Bob. I remember him dying at the end of season 2.
But I was
So Pat-
having this
yeah, so Pat,
conversation
just
with
in case-
Russell.
Just in case you haven't watched it, Pat, Rudy dies.
Oh no, I'm sure I'll forget that piece of information. But carry on. Thank
I
you.
was
Sir.
having this conversation with Russell earlier. I mean, I think season 3 is probably my favorite season.
Yeah, season 3 is really
That's
good.
that's the one with Billy.
You know, Billy's the lifeguard, and he
I know about enough. They've been out long enough. I know things about the 3rd and 4th season. So
There's some highs and lows in some of the seasons, but it stays pretty consistent. It's a very good watch. I went back and recently rewatched everything from season 1 before this release, and it was just as good rewatching it again.
yeah,
I always find just the characters are just like so cool. I mean, the personality changes. Like I remember watching the first season and then thinking Steve Harrington was a total douche, and then like as the seasons have gone on, he's developed into my favorite
Yeah, he's
character
awesome.
of all of them. So it's just definitely crazy. And each season you end up finding like a new one will come on. Like the lovable guy with the Slurpee who ends up also biting the
was
dust.
it Alexei or Dimitri? What was his
I
name?
think it was Alexi. I think something. Like that.
Oh yeah, what a great! Yeah, he was a really good character.
Mr. Steal Your
It was
Heart.
like the German scientist.
Mr. Steal Your Girl, Mr. Steal Your Wife, Mr. Steal Your Kids, Mr. Steal Your Heart.
So yeah, the show just does a really good job of incorporating, just new, interesting characters that just make the show so good. And I always tell people who haven't watched it, it's kind of like Todd said, it's kind of like it clashes with E.T. It's got like the old school '80s vibe, but it's got the horror component with the the outer space or upside down creatures. But then it also has like a lot of comedy to it as well. So it's a kind of a perfect analogy to say it's like it meets E.T.
It's just got a combination of everything.
it is set back, right? It's like kind of set in the 80s?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
84.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So if we're not going to go into too much detail about it, but if eventually it sounds like most of the people at the table will eventually get around to watching the new ones, but the new 4 episodes of Stranger Things does not disappoint. Do not disappoint.
Yeah, don't spoil anything for me.
We won't. All right, so we've reached the end of this episode, and we're gonna close it out with the main topic of the afternoon. And Patrick hit us with a bomb, last time we met, and he told us that since he has been living on his own as an adult, he's actually never owned a Christmas tree. So he made it a point to find a nice little 3-foot tree
Okay.
on sale.
2.5.
Excuse me. Slight correction. When I moved out when I moved out of my mom's house post college and all that, I moved in with 2 roommates, and we had a tree there for a few years. But then when I left that house and moved into an apartment, did not have a tree. And when I moved out of that house into the townhouse I live in now, did not have a tree. So for at least the last 13 years, I have not had a tree in my house. So not full on my own as an adult, not had a tree, just the last 13 years.
Okay.
But yes, I did, because of this situation, go out and purchase an artificial tree. Nothing fancy, just a basic 3-foot Christmas tree, because you guys are making me do this. So
A Douglas fir.
It's not like Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas, where you go cut a Christmas branch.
I did not do
Hey,
that.
this branch looks swell, Ma.
I did not. Nope. I went online, swiped a card, set a pickup, brought it home.
No, you told us you opted to go with not a pre-lit one. You said you got no lights, but you went and bought some lights for it.
Yes, I have lights for the tree that I will at some point, maybe this week, string around the tree.
Was it delivered by Amazon?
Yes.
Yeah, a box about yay big on your front porch.
Probably. Wait, were you stalking me today? Were you stalking me the last couple of days? What's up? But yeah, so now I have a tree. Do you want to explain why this all came about though? And like why I had to go buy the tree?
Is it because we want to give you Christmas ornaments?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, you basically bullied me into getting the tree because
I bullied him.
yeah, you did.
We bullied Pat. We are like the Grinches of Christmas, or is Pat the Grinch of Christmas here?
Grinch is my favorite character, so yes.
All right.
Yeah, so you cost
Get you
me
some.
you cost me about $35 because I had to go buy this fucking tree.
Well, maybe we'll make up for that with the amount we spent on ornaments. And then,
Thankfully,
I think you'll be pleased with the ornament that I got you, Patrick.
Thankfully, I had Capital One cash back points, so the tree didn't cost me anything ultimately, but
you go.
it was technically a $35 purchase, so whatever. Yeah, so the story to this is I told y'all that I don't do Christmas trees. My family does. I don't at my own home. So you decided you were going to get me an ornament from each one of you to put on my tree. So I had to go buy a tree so I can have a place to display the ornaments. I wasn't going to be the jerk and just get an ornament as a gift and not do something with it. That would feel as much as I would love to do that and not have this fucking tree.
Well, if you would have told us you weren't going to get a tree, I wouldn't have bought you an ornament.
I tried to tell you that, but you kept pushing the whole we're going to get you an ornament thing. You
Place them in the box like a pop figure next to
If you would like, you can prop the tree right here on this table, and we can just leave it here until Christmas season's over.
You wanted me to be part of this club, so now I am in the club of having a tree, and I guess I'm going to have ornaments now.
Look, man, it's going to be like Funko Pops. You're just going to see these ornaments, and you're going to be like, all right, cool, I need to go get some more for my tree.
That would be some funny shit, like leave the ornaments in the box and feed the branch through the thing like it hangs in the store. Never open any of them.
I've already thought about that.
You're just going to put the boxes in
yeah. But
in case you want to return them.
As Grinchy as I am, I can be talked into certain things, and like again, I'm not going to take your kind gestures and not use them. So that was part of the shtick is me rebelling against getting this tree, but deep down inside, I'm like, that's a really cool thing for my friends to do. So I will at least.
I'm not going to take a steaming dump on their gestures.
Yeah, exactly. If it were like random Joe Blows or like other random people I know that I'm not close with, I'd be like, cool. And I would just bring it to my mom's house or my sister's house and put it on their Christmas tree and be like, fuck that, whatever.
Well, I wish I would have known before the segment how much Patrick hated Tulane, because I wouldn't have got him a Tulane ornament.
He's not going to give a Charlotte steamer on it or anything.
No.
Or a Mississippi one.
So I'll let you take the lead on what was about to happen now.
All right. So without further adu, who would like to present their ornament to Patrick first?
So quickly, for those listening who don't know, what they've decided to do is that each of them has purchased or is purchasing an ornament that I will then hang on my tree. I know for a fact that Todd, Travis, and Russell have brought theirs. I don't know. Much to my persuading them to not do it, they have done this. I don't know if Sean and Mike will be participating. And Sean, I'm completely okay if you don't participate. You don't have to get me one now.
I think I mentioned which one I would buy you if I was going to buy it.
So just from me to you, you don't have to. Your presence is enough.
When I asked, I knew which one I would go by, and you were like, please don't. And I was like, all right.
I can just print out a picture of your face and cut around the edges and hang that as an ornament.
That would
so
be
you
awesome.
don't have to get me an ornament. Please, it's okay. Trust me. I'm not upset. I'm going to be hurt that you didn't get me an ornament.
I'm picturing your tree with our heads hanging on it.
We've already joked with you prior about the idea of like ones that our kids have made so many over the years from school where they put their pictures on them that I think we let them pick one of them to hang on the tree because we've collected so damn many of them over the years that you could definitely have one of all four of the kids. If Sean's got an extra of Tory, you could have a Tory one hanging on there too.
Well, I'm pretty sure Russell is regifting me an ornament, so this is happening.
But Russell confirmed that he no longer decorates for Christmas, so he had an abundance that he could get.
Yeah, so he's pushing his shit onto me now. And also for the record, in going along with this whole thing and the gestures that you guys are doing, I have also purchased an ornament or two that I'm going to put on the tree as well, because I feel like I should be these in the spirit of, if you guys are getting me one, I should probably get one of my own. So I have two ornaments purchased. One that I think you guys know about, I've shown you, and one I just randomly saw, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna do it, and you'll see that later on,
Okay. I mean, you got to have your sports teams represented. So anyway,
possibly.
so who would like to go first? Who would like to hand out their gift first?
So I'll go first. And as Pat stated, I actually have not purchased an ornament yet. That was still planned, but a part of my plan was
don't
to.
need
Now that's still going to happen. I haven't not found something that has fit the amount of comedy or cool or something that has sparked my interest to pass it along to Pat. So
I did give you recently a pretty good idea for an ornament that you would have to get 3D printed.
Oh no, that was going to come up.
Okay.
Well, we'll just leave it at that. There might be some very interesting.
Carson's right now back in his 3D printer mode, so we can also 3D
I don't know
print
if I could send a file that I would want to send to a child to be able to.
No, you could send it to me and I'll put it on. But we don't have a whole bunch of filament. We only have black, white, and like rainbow color. So
It also doesn't need to be very big if you want to keep it anatomically correct.
If it's rocket ship shaped, you can make it rainbow colored.
I prefer you don't.
It's a rocket ship. Perfect. It's a rocket ship.
A nice dark mahogany will do just fine.
all right, so Russ is going to get us kicked off here.
So in lieu of purchasing something, I decided I have a set of retired ornaments that I really used to love, and it was a part of a themed tree that I used to have. So I would like to pass some of those on and give them new life.
Keep talking for a second. I have an idea, so just keep going about. Just talk about something for a second.
Okay, cool. We'll keep talking about your ornaments.
All right, so you put me on the spot, Pat. Damn.
Filibuster for a second.
But I mean, look, there was also some ornaments that if you look at archery's kind of overloaded with ornaments. There's also some that Jessica actually suggested to give to Patrick that we haven't put on the tree. Some of the older ones. So Patrick, if there's a lot of empty space,
if you would
a
like
lot
it,
of empty branches on your tree, and you would like some
after
just filler ornaments,
after
you
the
could certainly
segments,
have some of ours.
After the segment's over, you can go climb up in Todd's attic and take a look. See if there's any out that strike your fancy.
I did have a really great idea. I really wanted to get some of like my old ornaments of growing up as a child, the ones that like you craft when you're in pre-K. Just because they're like sitting in an attic in my parents' house, and I was gonna like just gift all those as kind of a gag gift.
Yep. Well, I'm gonna give you one of Scarlett's face on like an angel body and put that one on there.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I did tell you because Scarlett and Grayson compete to be my favorites of the family, just in general, for all the nonsense that they put me through with Scarlett. Taking my phone and drawing baby Patrick on it, and Grayson just being Grayson, which is always hilarious to me. And we have a secret handshake dap that we do on occasion. So if you want to gift me an ornament of their creation or with their face on it, I will also gladly support and put that on it. Or if you give me a picture of the two of them together, I will put that as a star on the top of my tree because
we could definitely make that happen.
All right, so let's go. I guess you go first, Russ. What we got here?
Here you go.
All right. For the video audience, Russell has given me
It's a nice wrapping.
probably a re-gifted gift bag.
I did not go and buy my favorite candle from that store and use it to regift.
Okay. All right.
It's got hot air balloons.
But
on
isn't
it.
that like what we always do? Like we've got a whole box of bags that have already been given to us that we just rip the old note off.
Why
And,
buy
I got a closet full of
Perfectly
that.
good.
all right, here we go. What do we got?
The first one here, we have a star.
It's a snowflake because he's such a special little snowflake.
Snowflake. It's very 3D-ish.
So Russ, is there more than one in that bag?
There's multiple.
Yeah. I looked out like
Wow,
there's a lot of shit here.
Pat's not going home with just 3 today.
We needed to make sure that he could fill out the 3-foot tree.
Yeah, so it's a gold and silver snowflake. This is very cute, very, very holiday-esque in theme. So, yeah, all right, you got that. What else is in here?
Doink.
Oh, we have a white snowflake. Okay.
That looks edible.
Just a-
Is that a
it's a
cookie? Is that a
star.
cookie? It looks edible.
Whatever. And then we have, oh, Jesus Christ. Wrapping paper galore.
It's a bottomless pit in there.
Something like that. All right, what is this?
Wow, an even bigger one.
It's like a fucking Russian nesting doll of ornaments. Now this is
They're getting bigger.
I see. There's like a theme though. They all kind of look similar. It's almost like a set.
yeah. Did this come from like the Martha Stewart holiday collection? What did
Pottery barn.
Pier 1 Imports.
AKA I don't want this shit anymore, so I'm just gonna give shit to Patrick. What about these as a pair of earrings? What you think?
I
Yeah.
think it looks good.
I have to go in my eyes, just make my skin color pop. So, well, Russell, thank you. I've got 3 re-gifted ornaments: a snowflake, a star, and
They needed a new home.
I could think of a couple of the homes we could go to.
The star looks like a cookie that he just put a string through.
My first thought was it was like an edible cookie. I'm like, oh, that's a cool little shape for a cookie.
That makes sense though. Russell likes to bake. You know.
It attracts.
Macron.
All right. Well, thank you, Russell, for your re-gifted ornament.
Very sparkly.
Yeah, is there anything else you guys did?
No, it's just those three.
All right.
A bunch of glitter at the bottom of the bag.
I guess I'll go next. 'Cause I think Todd's is going to probably be maybe your favorite of this. So I'll go ahead and give you mine next.
All right. We got Travis's gift here. Very nice wrapping.
Some
and
toy
wrapping
soldier
paper.
wrapping paper.
Toy soldier wrapping paper.
Nutcrackers.
That's wrapped better than any of my legit Christmas gifts.
It even has the little sticker with to Patrick from Travis on it. Very well.
Yeah, even the label.
Let's get this back open. Okay, we have a box inside.
I think this hits two areas
Okay.
as far as the reasons why you would like it.
Open it up. Got some bubble wrap. Oh, we have a Maker's Mark
Nice.
Wagon.
wagon
Wagon.
with barrels in it that say Maker's Mark on it. This is awesome. My tree is probably so small. This is probably gonna tilt it over, but
You might have to bend the branch a little to hold up, put it on multiple branches.
Yeah, probably. And when I'm done, I could turn this into a necklace and wear it at the next bourbon event on like a big chain. So this is more than just a seasonal gift. So I actually like this. This will probably go up somewhere in my. This will go up in my office when I'm done with the holidays. When I take the tree down, which is probably the day after Christmas when I get home. But yeah, this is really cool. I appreciate this. Not that I don't appreciate Russell's,
I was
but
gonna
this is.
say, apparently my gifts are
it's-
really shitty. Sorry.
I'm not gonna use that word, but no.
No, I
this
just
is
thought it really loud.
this is a multi-use ornament / gift. So
You needed to write makers on your ornaments when it should Sharpie.
By the way, at Zupardo's bourbon tasting, I sampled the Maker's Mark, and it was the worst one I had all night. But I just letting y'all know. But
Well, I got Patrick the ornament. Maybe I should try it.
I'm not going to lie. I told too many people I was not a makers fan at all.
all right.
That they have too much bite, but you know.
And we have Todd's gift here, which is some very interesting gift wrap. I like this. It's a hot dog with an American flag top hat on it, squeezing a cartoon male character.
Is it a glizzy?
It is a glizzy.
it looks like it might have some relish on there.
I know that's like some white looking. That's like I don't. That's not. Is it mayo? what is on that? What's on that hot dog?
Hopefully, it's not homemade.
That's what makes it a glizzy.
Stadium ornament limited edition collection. Okay, we got some here. This son of a bitch. Okay, all right. I have a immediate relief because when I first saw it, I saw the red and black. I thought it was a fucking Ohio State ornament. And I was like, you rotten bitch. But no, this is a Busch Stadium inaugural season ornament. This is really, really cool. Check this
Oh,
thing out.
sweet. Yeah.
That's nice.
That's very well done.
So Todd actually sent me a message, and he's like, "Do you think Patrick would like the new stadium or the old stadium?"
Yeah,
And I
they
said-
made both of them.
And I said, you know what? Since we went to the newer one, I think you had to go with the newer one. You know?
Yeah.
This is
Well, Pat, you might have went to the older one too, though. I don't know.
I've
but-
been to both, yes. This is
Not that old bowl stadium, you know.
this thing. This
That's gone.
is great. This will also get
Hey,
used
it's good. It's good.
post holiday, and it'll go next to my St. Louis Cardinals placard that I have in my office. So yeah, I must say this is a fine start to my ornament collection. I expected more of a joke gag gift for an ornament from all of you, especially you, Todd. And
Me?
so I can see it now. For the time being, Russell's 3-pack of regifting will be the centerpiece of the star top of my Christmas tree. And then I will flank that star with the other 2 ornaments that he gave me. And I will find a spot on the tree, there'll be plenty of room, to highlight the Busch Stadium inaugural season 06 and the Maker's Mark wagon with barrels on it. I've been color me extremely impressed and actually sincerely grateful. These are awesome. You really threw me for a loop because I was not expecting anything this cool. I expected some thoughtfulness, but some more of like a gag gift thoughtfulness to it.
He thought we were just gonna come with like 6 dicks. Thought we were gonna have like butt
that
plugs and
charcuterie
shit.
Yeah, honestly, that's kind of what I thought. These
mean,
actually are probably nicer than the ornaments I bought myself because mine are just more like, not like cardboard, like a car air freshener.
Those are legit ornaments. Yeah.
Yeah, these are actual ornaments. These are. I'll be proud to hang these up and tell people that my friends who are also dicks are nice. They're nice dicks, and they got me nice things.
I mean, I think I mentioned it. Mine was going to be a pickle with shades on, with a sash that says "I'm kind of a big deal." I can still get you that one. I know where to get it from.
You know what? If you want to do that, I will also bless my tree with the dill pickle ornament. Well done, guys. This actually is really cool. They're super fun. They have more than one use, including Russell's. I'll get that. I'm gonna hang that from.
Figure something out for
I'll hang it from the Penelope shelf of my bourbon and just front and center, so that way you can feel important because you're right next to my favorite bourbons.
But I agree. I think that big one could actually serve as your tree topper, probably. So.
It will. So that'll get used for sure. And then I'll just put the Scarlet Grayson photo on top of that, hanging with this big ornament hanging right below it.
There was a brief moment that I was just going to fill it a little 2-ounce vial and throw a string on it and just have like actual whiskey.
That wouldn't last a day.
It's like they would have got a drink.
I would drink that while I was putting up the other ornaments. So, no, really cool. This is awesome. I very much appreciate it, and I'm changed my whole tune about this whole ornament thing now. These are really good.
And the idea of it's like Funko Pops, man. You just get a couple of them that you like, and you keep going. Like you start your collection, you'll be able to find some really cool ones on eBay. Go from there.
Well, honestly, I mean, if you've looked at there's a Nathan McKinnon Hallmark one, and I was originally thinking about getting that one for you, but I was like, Travis loves those fucking things, so it's like he's probably gonna get that.
It was between that, and then but that I think is the Grinch one an Avalanche one?
Yes.
So then when I saw you sent the picture of that, I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna hold off on the Avalanche and just go with the Maker's Mark.
Yeah. So also in my cart is a Patrick Waugh ornament and a Nathan McKinnon one as well. They have a Kill McCarr. I have not. I would love to probably track down maybe for next year an Adam Foote, a Forsberg, a Sakic ornament. I'm sure they exist. They're on eBay somewhere. I just didn't really search for it much, but I'm sure they're there.
On a little Sakic headliner.
Yeah. So this is nice. I very much appreciate it, guys. You guys are exceeding my expectations, even though they were probably low already. But you've done well, and I'm going to be a bit less grinchy because of this. This is really cool. Appreciate it. So now I got to step up and get you guys something for next year.
Early Merry Christmas.
I appreciate it. You've done well. I'm a happy boy. I'm going to be slightly less grinchy now, and maybe when I come home from a bad day at work, I'm gonna go in, light the tree up, look at my ornaments,
drink a glass of bourbon.
Multiple glasses, but yes. So,
well, and on that holiday cheer note, wagons out.
Wagons out.